Across the epochs of human history, there have been countless forecasts of what we might see at the end of our days. Some have told of plagues, earthquakes, fire raining from the sky. Others have foretold of celestial omens, stars falling, and the moon not giving its light. Then there are those who have warned of the appearance of a single man, an individual so irreligious, so evil, so anti-God, that his very name has become synonymous with evil itself, the Antichrist. This is a terrifying subject for Christians who believe the Bible literally. The second book of the Thessalonians warns that this great deception will come only after the manifestation of the lawless one, also called the son of perdition. But this person isn't just any ordinary evildoer. He will be a false Messiah who seeks to usurp God himself, even sitting in God's place in the Temple of Solomon. With 6666 branded on his forehead, the beast will rule over the world for 3.5 years before being ultimately cast into the lake of fire. But is this prophecy still relevant today? And if so, does it mean we are living in the last days? Is the Antichrist already among us? Let's find out in today's episode. 5 The prophecies of the Antichrist that still haunt us. The book of Revelation's beast. The most popular conception of the Antichrist comes from the final book of the New Testament, the book of Revelation. It is here that John, exiled on the island of Patmos, describes the visions he had of the end of the world and the return of Christ. John writes of a series of judgments that befall the earth, each more horrible than the last. Yet amid these horrors there arises a beast, a wild and monstrous creature that performs great signs, even turning water into blood and fire. The beast is described as having 7 heads and 10 horns. On one of its horns is a little horn that grows in power until it is destroyed by an angel. The number of the beast is said to be 666, and it is ultimately cast into the lake of fire. This is often seen as a description of the Antichrist. The number 666 is also mentioned in other places in the text. And when the beast is described as having 7 heads and 10 horns, some see this as a representation of worldly powers coming together under the banner of one ultimate villain. Although this prophecy was written thousands of years ago, it is still seen by some people today as a prediction of things to come. Many evangelical Christians believe that we are now living in the last days, and that the events described in the book of Revelation are about to unfold. They believe that the beast described in the text is the Antichrist, who will eventually be revealed, the Islamic Dajjal. Muslims also await the arrival of a great deceiver. In Islam, the Dajjal is described as a tricksy spirit who will appear in the latter days to lead humanity astray. According to Muslim tradition, the Dajjal will be born in the city of Ars, which is said to be located between Syria and Iraq. The Dajjal will be a powerful sorcerer who will claim to be a prophet of God. He will deceive many people into following him, but he will ultimately be defeated by Jesus, who is known as Isa in Islam. The Hadith, which are sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, contain many references to the Dajjal. In one hadith, Muhammad is quoted as saying, "The Dajjal will be a liar, a great sorcerer. He will not perform any work except that he will say it is by the permission of Allah." Another hadith says that the Dajjal will lead people astray by performing miracles and spreading lies. However, Allah will send prophets to guide people away from the Dajjal's teachings. Muslims generally believe that the Dajjal is a metaphor for sin and evil. They do not believe that the Dajjal will be a physical person, but rather a force that will tempt humans to do bad things. Despite this, some Muslims do believe that the Dajjal will be a literal person who will appear before the Day of Judgment. Nostradamus's hidden warnings. Nostradamus was a French astrologer and physician who lived during the Renaissance. He is best known for his book, Les Prophecies, which contains a collection of poems and prose that Nostradamus claimed could predict future events. While many of Nostradamus's predictions have been debunked as either vague or simply incorrect, there are a few that continue to haunt us to this day. One such prophecy is Nostradamus's prediction of the French Revolution. In a poem written in 1555, Nostradamus wrote of a time when the people will rise up against their king and many of them will fall. This prophecy was seen as predicting the overthrow of the French monarchy and the rise of a republic. And although Nostradamus died 70 years before the revolution actually took place, some believe his prediction helped to inspire it. Another of Nostradamus's more famous prophecies is his prediction of the rise of a new world order. In a poem written in 1556, Nostradamus wrote of a time when a new world shall be made, when old France shall be destroyed. Some believe this prophecy refers to the current state of affairs in the world, with the United States and its allies reigning supreme. Of course, Nostradamus could not have predicted the collapse of the Soviet Union and the emergence of a unipolar world order. So this interpretation is likely just a case of hindsight. However, there are those who believe that Nostradamus's prediction of a new world order is yet to come. They believe that the current world order is only temporary, and that it will eventually give way to a new one, perhaps led by a single ruler or government. Whatever the case may be, Nostradamus's prediction serves as a reminder that nothing lasts forever. The Papal Prophecies of Saint Malachy. Towards the end of the 16th century, a young Irish monk named Malachy O'Hehir predicted the fates of popes from his own time up until the last pope before the end of the world. His list includes the current Pope Francis, who is the 266th pope in the Catholic Church. And while the first part of his predictions were accurate, the same cannot be said for the rest of them. So how did this monk come up with his list? Well, in 1585, Malachy was inspired to write down the name and the corresponding mottos of each pope that would succeed the then current pope. He didn't know any of them personally, nor did he live through the papacy of any of them. All he did was put pen to paper and wrote down what he believed God had shown him. Most of the mottos were relatively harmless, like, "In humility, my strength will grow," or "The Turkish sword will not prevail." However, others were less so, like, "Fire from the north will greatly disturb the whole of Italy," which came true with the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 1631, killing more than 5,000 people. After Malachy's death, his followers started taking bets on whether his predictions were correct or not. And since then, every new pope has caused a media frenzy as people try to determine whether the next pope will be the Antichrist. Malachy's list reads, "In extreme adversity, the Roman Church will be held in esteem by the sovereign pontiff, whom many will take offense at." The final emperor in medieval lore. When it comes to the lore surrounding the Antichrist, few stories are as captivating as the legend of the final emperor. This tale, rooted in medieval folklore, paints a picture of a brutal, tyrannical ruler whose sole purpose is to persecute Christians. According to this prophecy, the Antichrist will rise to power after the death of the last true Christian emperor. His reign will mark the beginning of a great tribulation, a time when Christians will be hunted and killed for their faith. The Antichrist, driven by an insatiable lust for power and glory, will seek to destroy everything that stands against him. He will attack the Holy Land, desecrate holy sites, and commit atrocities against the Christian population. Yet despite all the suffering he inflicts, the legend assures that the Antichrist will meet his demise at the hands of the two witnesses, two prophets who will emerge from the depths of despair to deliver humanity from evil. After the Antichrist's defeat, peace and prosperity will finally return to the world. But for now, his legacy of terror and bloodshed continues to serve as a warning of the dangers of unchecked ambition and religious intolerance. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.